Hello there, I'm Scotty, and you're not. It's time to talk about Pink Panther 2, and I'm glad they didn't try to do a fancy name thing. Like when they brought back the Planet of the Apes movies. Like, well, first of all, there was the Tim Burton one, which I don't mind, by the way, I kind of like it. Uh, but that one was Planet of the Apes. I don't know what they would have done, Planet of the Apes 2, whatever. Burton didn't want to do a sequel anyway. But then you had Rise of Planet of the Apes, and they had a bunch of other names. Here it's simply Pink Panther 2, which makes sense. Otherwise, they probably would have been Return of the Pink Panther, or Save the Pink Panther, or something like that. Save the Pink Panther would fit, I guess, but Rescue the Pink Panther. Theft of the Pink Panther. But yes, which you could call the first one that, I guess, too. But yeah, surprisingly, I think I like this one a little bit better. Because first of all, Dreyfus is not portrayed, or Dreyfus, whatever, it's not portrayed as a straight up villain like he was in the last one. And John Cleese, as I thought, is better. But I do feel like there is a similar structure to things. Down to a twist that I also figured out pretty quickly. Like as soon as they showed something, I went, oh, well, it's going to be this. And I was pretty much right. Yeah, but there's a scene where he has to go to someone, like in the first one it was a dialogue coach. Now there's Lily Tomlin, she's teaching them how to have etiquette. And then to the point that he and Panther, is his name, Panther, are trying to solve this case. You know, there's a bunch of other detectives there. I don't know why they're needed, but they're there. They don't do much. And the ending is this big party that Clouseau's not allowed to go to, but somehow finds a way to sneak into anyway. And there's a twist on the reveal. Actually, they thought that this was happening, but actually, this is what's happening. Very similar to the first one. And it's clear that the guy who didn't come back to write this movie wasn't the problem, because there's still gags that go on far too long. But then had that little thing at the end, right? Like, there's some guys, like the one when Andy Garcia introduces himself, he has a full Italian name. He says, oh, a bunch of his Italian name. And Clouseau's response is, and your name? And then they have him repeat it. He goes, oh, that is your name. Well, but like, you didn't have to say it like 3 times. And there's trying to think. I'm losing it. The the Pope's hat thing. When he said it with the Pope. Do you know the exact location of your hat? No. Is that I am probably sitting on it. And I know he takes it out. It's a little bed in the front. Good as new. But then the joke is that he is trying to put himself in the Pope's shoes as to what happened when his ring was stolen. And that he literally does that, and he's dressed as the Pope, and he keeps going out where the people are, and he falls off the balcony, or almost falls off the balcony. That's a little too much. I mean, I've seen it in Euro Trip about 2 years earlier, or 3 years, 2008, 2009, so actually 4 years earlier, 5 years earlier, 2004, 5 years earlier, and they did it better. That's a crazy Pope. They did it better in that one. What was the other? I had it and I lost it. What was it? Just the little quips that he does from time to time too. Just the little ones like, I'll try to remember it. There's a subplot with where Ponton has stood up to his wife because Clouseau told him to, so he gets kicked out, and the kids come to stay with him too because they took his side. That does lead into my twist. We'll get to it a little bit, but how I figured out the twist. But like, yeah. Oh, I remember what it was. So he is. So the whole plot of this movie is that they're chasing down this criminal, this crook known as the Tornado, this thief known as the Tornado, and this chief inspector guy shows up and tells Dreyfus that he wants Clouseau to lead the group of inspectors that they're going to have. And I love John Cleese. This is the one scene. I saw this clip in the Hats Off Entertainment retrospective video, the second part. And I was wondering what the context is. The context is that he just found out that they want, because he thought, I accept, I will do it, and then, but like, no, we want Clouseau. So the context is he goes in to use the bathroom and is smashing his head against the wall and everything. But that's not what it looks like. It looks like someone is pulling him into the wall. So I thought perhaps there was some sort of joke where it was like a magnet or something was pulling him. But no, he's supposed to be doing it himself. It doesn't look like it, though. It's really weird. But yeah. So when he tells Clouseau's like, no, I need to protect the Pink Panther. Pink Panther is safe. I'm gunning it. It is fine. And he's like, I'm convinced it's going to be stolen. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be stolen. And as soon as he steps foot out of France, because technically when he gets in the airport is the end of France, I guess. It was reported that it's stolen. So now I guess they're doing everything from Paris again, which fits. I don't want. Let's go to America now. No. They do go to Rome at one point, I think, too, though. But because the Pope's ring is stolen. But there is one point in this movie that I called out the twist, and I will say I did laugh at that as soon as he stepped. I'm like, what is he doing? I was leaving Paris, man. He left Paris in the last one. Why is he so? And he steps over. The Pink Panther has been stolen. Ah, I knew it. See, Dreyfus. That's why I like John Cleese. Those reactions. He's just funnier. Kevin Kline, no offense to him, he's a good actor, but John Cleese is better. But there's a point where he's in his apartment or his house, and his nephews, the Ponton's kids, are looking at. Is this the Pink Panther? Oh no, it is a replica. It was given to me when I after I said it, and I went, that's the real one, and one that was stolen was a fake. Guaranteed. Sure enough, that's exactly what it was. I'm like, it's gonna be the real one, and a fake was stolen. Yeah, so they get these people together. There's some stupid, like, they just go on far too long. Like, there's this security force that breaks in, and the code to stop it is hamburger. But they do the joke where he can't pronounce it right, despite the fact that he pronounced it right the first time. Every time he pronounced it, hamburger, hamburger. It's like, what? It wasn't even that funny in the first one. He's got to go to an etiquette teacher because, well, and he says this, and I'm repeating it. When the others arrive, one of them is Chinese, and he says, "Oh, I assume you like some sushi, my little yellow friend." And I went, "Yeesh." That, something like that nowadays would be burning the steak. I know they're poking at the politically incorrectness of the original ones, but that was just. And the guy's reaction too was like what? But yeah. And so he figures out, because when they first show him, he's on traffic duty. And so at one point, they're trying to track down. They go to see Jeremy Irons, and I want him to be the tornado. Because that would be cool. No, no, he's just a guy. Both of them. Jeremy Irons plays a guy who is a fence for the tornado, but the tornado is actually just some guy who we never really seen on screen. They find him dead. All the stuff returned, and it said that the Pink Panther was destroyed because it was so beautiful he couldn't, want anyone to have it but him. Everyone says, "Oh, we did it. We found him," but of course Clouseau was like, "Nope, he's just not over." But they don't listen to him. And like this is very much like the first one, where he was trying to say that it wasn't over, but where he was trying to claim something and it wasn't, So we're doing this again. But this time he's able to go in, he's behind he talks to Dreyfus. Dreyfus comes over there, and he's behind the blind. Clouseau is. And he's talking to Dreyfus. And Dreyfus is going like this, and you see from the point of view of the people at the table, but it looks like he's not going to nobody. He's like, it's Clouseau again. I like this scene. Because you have to look at a standpoint from the real thief, or who is the thief now, and these inspectors that are there. He's like, oh, Clouseau says you did it. Me? They laugh because I was like, they don't say it out loud in so many words, but it's more like, a woman? Even though women are notoriously the best cat burglars because of their thin figure and everything. But yeah. So they sit there and they just pretty much assess what is the situation. That she was the tornado's lover, and she got mad, so she killed him, returned the stuff, and kept the Pink Panther, the only real bankable item. And so then, after listening to all this, Dreyfus just blows it off, but Nicole, who's had this weird subplot with Andy Garcia, where he's been trying to date her, why is this woman, who is only in her 30s at this point, being hit on by gross old men between Garcia and Steve Martin? I don't know why. Anyway, talk about her thing in a minute, because there's a joke I don't care for. So she asks Sonia, that's the woman, to open the purse, and he's like, no. But then she won't do it. Oh, why won't you do it? If you didn't do it, she goes, fine. She pulls out a gun, and then the look at Dreyfus' face, he was right. So Clouseau comes in. I did laugh at this too. If you're going to shoot someone else, shoot me. Okay. I did this since I went out. But it hit his... I laughed at this too. Okay, it's stupid. He's like... He's okay. He hit his medal he got from the last one. Actually, no. It ricocheted off and hits the waiter. Okay. That was funny. Nobody saw it though. That's my thing. So now Clouseau gives chase with the other investigators bumbling behind him, falling to every bit of Clouseau's bumbling. Like they're trying to get it knocked down when they're trying to go up, and this photographer is photographing everything. In the kitchen at one point, Clouseau. At one point they have her dead to rights by the elevator. And She's pouring gasoline, which was just sitting on the side of the hallway. I don't know that, but and he's like, "You don't have a light there." So she shoots it, and it goes up. That is such a cliche. I don't think it would actually work that way. Yes, there's gunpowder in it, but I don't know. It's a bullet hitting it. You're not striking a spark. I've never gotten that trouble in action movies and stuff. I don't know. Maybe there's enough explosive powder. There is enough spark. I don't know. I don't know. Do not use an elevator in a fire. A fire? I can do these. So they take the hose, spray it. He gets, of course, it's one of those things where the hose is so powerful, it throws him around, flips him over the balcony, and he slides down just in time to catch her. Then we got our explanation. He figured out it was Sonia because he gave the ticket, the car a ticket, 2 days before she said she was supposedly in town. And a day before the Pink Panther was stolen. But I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait, she's not actually the tornado. The guy was, right? So I guess if she's his accomplice and lover, she's used to sort of... That's why they never catch him, right? Because she would always push them away from him. So for this time, she wanted the Pink Panther to herself. And she murdered him for it. But Panther and his children arrive with the real Pink Panther, who he had switched with the fake the night before it was stolen. But of course, the security guard didn't tell anyone because that's how he got in. Yeah, so he knew. He tried to tell them, they wouldn't listen, and he stole a fake. That's probably why I was like, "Oh, that's the real one," because he did it to. Yeah, so that was easy to figure out. Like I said, I've seen some of this before. I don't remember any of this, really, but yeah. And Dreyfus is not so happy that they Clouseau I got and everything. He's like, "Oh, of course, I knew the whole time. I put him on the duty myself, right?" No. So then we finished up this subplot that's been going on between Andy Garcia and her. There's a whole thing where Andy Garcia has been flirting with Nicole, but Clouseau, I couldn't think of the name for a second, is in love with her, so he's conflicted and he doesn't want them to get together. And then there's a whole speech that Panther gives to him during which he's shampooing his hair, where he's like, "I'm going home to my wife. I listen to you and it doesn't work. You need to have it. Like, do you not know?" I like this scene though, because he's like, "You don't even know this hair. You don't know anything about her. You don't know what color her eyes are, her favorite color, nothing. Her eyes are brown. She's allergic to shellfish. Or her favorite food is shellfish," or something like that. Lists all these things about her. I knew I was coming to him like, he knows everything about her, doesn't he? You know. And I would never tell her she's beautiful. Because if she knew how beautiful she was, she would never be with a man like me. But earlier there was a whole thing where he was trying to throw Andy Garcia off her trail, so he was saying all these bad things about her, and then he tells her, she gets all pissed, but he's like, "You are pretty." There's also a thing where she takes her glasses off, it's like, you're pretty without your glasses on. She can't see anything, so she falls. That gag didn't need that. Also, we also didn't need, like, I don't know, 2.5 minutes of them screaming "Ho-ho-bo!" while shampooing his hair. Like, what is this? Do we really need this scene of where they discuss how "ho-ho-bo" is spelled with a J but pronounced "ho-ho-bo"? It's spelled "jojobo," pronounced "ho-ho-bo." Spelled "jojobo," pronounced "ho-ho-bo." I got it after the first time. Do we have to keep saying it? ho hubbo, turns into a dance. Ho hubbo, ho hubbo, ho hubbo, ho hubbo, ho hubbo. I'm like, what are we doing here? Where did we go with this? How did we get, huh? It's like walking to the bathroom, ending up outside. I opened the wrong door. What happened? Why are we, ho hubbo? Hohobo. Hamburger. Hamburger. So, Clouseau and Nicole get married. And when Dreyfus pops the champagne bottle, it summons the people from earlier, but they change the password. I do like this. Hamburger. No. Hamburger. He tries to say it wrong. No. Clouseau, what is the password? Low battery. It says low battery. Low battery. No. Huh? Oh, I think it just means the battery is low. And then they just leave. Yeah, I don't. Then it ends. And the cartoon Panther shows up as they're leaving. Boom, boom, boom. I liked it. I'll still give it a high middle of the road. Same score as the first one. I think it's on par with it. It might be better. I don't know. But I laughed more in this one. That's for sure. But there was still some of that humor. I just went like hohobo and I don't know. There it is. Scratch these off the Big LT request list. Pink Panther, Pink Panther 2. Yeah. So I'm going to say, for those who want to know, the requests I have so far, Pink Panther 1 and 2, the Johnny English trilogy, My Favorite Martian, which he just requested to me, and A Few Good Men, which will eventually be done in my Pick 10 Tom Cruise, whenever the hell I start that. And I seem to remember him asking me about The Devil's Advocate at one point. I'll put that on the list. I don't know if that's when he's... I don't know. But my memory's better than his sometimes. Sometimes it's better than mine. So who knows? But, yeah, so what are your thoughts on the Pink Panther 2? Leave a comment so much. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one. I ate the wrong deck!